Good evening and welcome to Let's Talk Access, a social media program produced and presented by the UWI Global Campus. I'm your host, Cherise Glasgow, and thank you for joining us from wherever you are on the World Wide Web. Today, we speak to two of our most recent 2023 graduates, and they will be representing two of our global campus countries. We will hear about their stories, from students to graduates, and they will let us know all the ins and outs as well as offer some much needed advice for anyone who is listening who wants to apply or who have already applied and are going through this journey. Our very special guests today are Catherine Jordan from Barbados and Kofi Tony from Trinidad and Tobago. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Let's Talk Access. It's a pleasure having you both here with us this evening. So, you can let us know, you can introduce yourselves and share a bit about who you are and what you studied at the UWI Global Campus.
Hi, good afternoon. My name is Catherine Jordan. I'm from Barbados. I joined UWA Open Campus in 2018 and I graduated last October 2023.
Hi everyone, my name is Kofi Tony. I am from Trinidad and Tobago. Joined Open Campus, I think, in 2017 and graduated in 2023. I did the Bachelor of Education, Educational Leadership and Management.
Great. So, is there anything you want our audience to know special about you? Anything unique that you would like to share?
Wow, that's a good question. What unique? I'm a lover of soca, Trini soca. I'm Barbadian, but I love Trini soca.
A perfect match here then, Catherine.
I was gonna
Yes.
tell, I was gonna tell Catherine Soka is life is, so that's good.
like like Trini say all yeah, I just love Trini soca. Yes.
We're in the same place.
Well, that is good to know. And it's good to have you both here, as I would have mentioned before. So, you've told us what you studied. Can you say why you chose the global campus to pursue these studies? What was it about our campus that you wanted it to be your campus?
Well, first for me, I think the open campus was a must for me in terms of studying because um, having a full-time public service job with a young child and the idea of joining to University Cave Hill, that would have been too much on me, especially on the times because despite being a part-time student, there are cases where you have to go to school during the day and sometimes the hours at night. So for me, it was a goal when I learned that open campus, you work within your time and you will be home. So which it was ideal for me as being a parent to a young child. So that was my first choice.
Yeah, very similar to Catherine. Having a full-time job, demanding full-time job at that. Open campus was the best option because it allowed me the ability to go to work and then study in the afternoon times, coming home after work, the flexibility of the classes, and the fact that you have all of the material online and available to you all the time. I think that made a really, really big difference to me. And the flexibility in terms of your studies and the number of courses that you take and the ability to move at your own pace, I think that as well was what sold me on the open campus experience, as opposed to doing it a different way. So I was really appreciative of the way that you can study at open campus and the flexibility that it allows you.
Awesome. And I believe both of you in some way would have answered the next question, but I don't know if you will want to elaborate some more. What does access means to you? As you know, access will be one of our triple A pillars. What does access mean to you?
Well, access means to me, as in terms of the global campus, was as in terms of the facilitation online was, getting all your materials, your sites, even your tutors, easy access, as in terms of getting in contact with your fellow students. So everything there was made easy for us during that period.
Yeah. I want to agree with you. I even took it to the point where whenever a course would start, I would download all of my stuff in advance. I would put them in separate folders. Look at your course outline, look at when your assignments were due. All of that information was provided upfront. It was really easy to stay focused and know what you had to do when. So for somebody who's really busy, that access to the material gives you that ability to plan everything out in advance so you don't have to worry too much, or you could put things in place in such a way that you could plan around it. So it wasn't a situation where anything was a surprise or you felt overwhelmed because, as I said, you had more control really, and you're able to take control of your learning in a really good way, in a really positive way. So for me, that access means having that ability to get your information when you need it. And like Catherine said, I think our lecturers, our tutors were really, really awesome in their availability. The fact that they're online, I think it makes things a little bit different, make things a little bit simpler in the way that you communicate. And because everybody's online, you're using the technology anyway. So you're using the WhatsApp, you're using the live classroom as well. And, you could connect with your Caribbean classmates quite easily. I have a different appreciation for everyone around the region being able to communicate around the region. So your classes was so mixed that you really got a really, really nice experience as well. So I see Catherine smiling. I feel she feels the same way.
She's agreeing with
Yes,
some of what you're
yes,
saying.
I'm agreeing with everything because it was like, for instance, at least well, by all your assessments, the dates, forehand, what is it, your tour, you have everything, beforehand. So it was like to say is that you have to be looking here or looking there. Everything is set out for you. So that's one of the good things of Open Campus.
Awesome. That is so good. And those of you who are watching, who are listening to these two graduates speak about their experience, you can also have access to this amazing global campus experience, especially for you who want to do your undergraduate degree. Tomorrow is the last day that you can register for our upcoming semester 1 September intake. So if you want to start in September, you have until Wednesday, July the 31st to apply, and that can be done by logging on to our website at global.ue.edu/apply. That is global.ue.edu/apply. And who knows, in a couple of years, you can be right here telling us about your experience and having these wonderful smiles like Kofi and Catherine as they reminisce on a journey that I am sure to them was well earned. So, tell us about your overall experience at the campus. This could be anything from highs or lows, any challenges you had, and whatever you want us to know. Just tell us a bit more into that journey.
Well, I can say for me, my journey started with not knowing that I could have do more than two subjects. But for the first year, I had started first semester with two subjects, and then the second semester of the first year three. And I find that students, because I met people from first year that did courses with me up till my final year. And I can say that, it was a wonderful experience. And even so, I invited one to Barbados here. So that's how that we became good friends. And I find that I have met very good classmates. We had such fantastic groups. And I guess, it seems that the 30 courses seem long, like the period was long, but I find that having people, and you had some very good tutors that made sure that we were on point, that made sure that if we were lagging behind, would ask, if we needed some additional sessions. So I found as the course, as it got into like the second and third year, which I taught, you're getting tired, but at least it's that you had motivation to finish because you had wonderful people. I can say with the 30 courses, um, to be honest, if I had two or three tutors that that I encountered that were hard on us, I you know I can't think of any. Everyone, everyone helped students, tutors, and I was there saying efficiency of knowing that something here is that you can send an email. Sometimes it was like instantaneous where they message you back, but your work was set out, the websites, everything. So to me, the 5 years,
Mhm.
no matter it was long, it was getting tired. It was well worth it, to be
Yeah,
honest.
yeah, it's a marathon. Yeah.
Yes, it was.
Mhm.
Yes, I guess I'll share mine as well. Catherine, kind of opposite to you. I think that I underestimated the start. Having been out of school for a while when I started, I think I said I can handle this, and I jumped in with three courses at the beginning, which was really a mistake. I should not have. I should have probably started with one or two. But I quickly remedied that going into the second semester, realizing that I had to manage the workload a little bit better. Um, but you know, one of the highlights for me over the period would have been the UE Games. I had the opportunity to participate in the UE Games in 2019. That was such
Wow.
an awesome experience because some of the persons who I was meeting online, I got to meet them for the first time in person at UE Mona. So that was a really, really good experience. Played with the football team as well. So I was one of the older players there. I won't tell you my age, but I was one of the older players on the team and really, really enjoyed that experience. I've had some really good friends over the years. Some of them I saw Ken Thomas on, I think Ken Thomas was on last week. So
Yes. Week
yes, so
before, yes. Hmm.
Ken, I would have met some Katrina Maturin, Ralma Richardson. Those are just some of the persons who I was able to make the journey with, and those people really, really encouraged you along the way. I can say that my father passed in 2019, and that was a really, really difficult period for me. But the support of the persons online, they would have reached out, they would have really helped me over the period. I did a bit of craziness in between there because I actually did a 1 year master's program while doing this program as well. And because of the flexibility, I was able to do one or two courses in a semester and still be able to manage that workload as well. So even that, that kind of tells you that if you really come in and you commit over the period, you can navigate your way, whether it's obstacles in terms of something personal or whether you have something else happening at the same time. You really have the ability to, while studying, manage your time, manage your workload, and then, of course, at the end, come through successful, and be able to graduate. So that experience, and with the added bonus for me of having participated in the games as well, got a ticket to go to Jamaica. I was surprised. So even those things, I think it has made me, I'm an advocate for open campus. In case you don't know, I will say to anybody, um, open campus is really a godsend. It provides you with the ability to study at your own pace. It provides you the ability to move on if you're in a job and you're looking to see, okay, how can I go to that next level? Open campus definitely provides that. And I was saying to someone today, the experience I had turned me into an educator because I don't think, even though I work at a TBET institution, I don't consider myself an educator before really doing this program because it really gave me the tools, not just the tools from an education perspective, but it also gave me the tools from a leadership perspective to be able to be in a senior position and be able to express my thoughts, be able to be an advocate for students, to push my ideas and say, listen, this is the way to do it. And I'm also an advocate for blended TVET. So TVET is not traditionally in a blended mode, but having seen the way that Open Campus does it, I can tell you definitely, blended approaches is really the way to go. So
based on that, I'm going to ask you, how have the degree that you studied for and the procedures and the processes that you would have been schooled on, in a sense, at the UWA Global Campus, how has that helped you in your current field or a future field?
Well, for me, I work in public service in Barbados, but it is, yes, we have an HR division in my department. But for me personally, it have really helped. I did HR, human resource management, bachelor's, and I find that despite not working in the HR, it have assisted me and learn a lot of things about me being an employee, as in terms of, for instance, with leave, as in terms of industrial relations, you know, because you remember that you usually have a lot of the paid talks and stuff like that. So I think that the course, despite that, is not directly associated with my job. Yes, there is a department. It have a lot of courses that I did, the 30 courses that I did, a lot I
Mhm.
used within my organization. So the program was very helpful indeed.
on my end, it would have really been so having been in education at the time, but not having a qualification, education qualification, it really helped to put things into perspective for me. Um, a lot of the things that I would develop would have come straight out of the classes that we would have done. A lot of the ideas that were implemented, I was able to introduce blended learning at NASC during COVID. So, that at that point, we weren't sure how we were going to get moving because of the classes that I was in. I was really able to kind of drive that forward and, be able to keep that blended momentum beyond COVID to even now where the school still uses that approach. Um, a lot of the methods and the tools and even, the structure that we have now, I attribute to the classes that I would have been in. And as I said earlier on, that ability to advocate, because one of the things that our lecturers always, talked about and they made sure that it kind of fit into your mind is that you are the advocate for your students. You are the one who is going to, um, you have to bat for them, literally. And because of that, I've gotten myself in some trouble every now and then, but I always know now that I have to get advocate and I have to use my voice to the benefit of those students who may not be able to use the voice on their own, or to make things better, or to find different ways that will help them to achieve more. So I attribute that really to lecturers that we had and to the way that the course was delivered. And it has really helped my career as well because of that drive and because of that ability to use my voice, then kind of situates you in a space where people say, okay, yeah, they recognize what you do. And then, other opportunities are opened up as a result of that. So, I think that for me, it was already being in this space. This just made me a lot better.
Hope that is good trouble you were in, Kofi, and not any kind of raucous trouble.
It's good trouble. Trouble from the sense that, everybody's not going to agree with you.
Mm-hmm.
There are times that, things are the way they are, and not everybody wants to really see it in a different way. So it's trouble in the sense that you can drive change.
Yes.
And yeah, so that's the kind of trouble, not any other kind.
Yeah, which is basically driving change is one of the main drivers or the main rationale for being educated, for getting education, not only for yourself, but for your community. So I'm glad to hear from both of you that your degrees were practical, because I know from a student's perspective, and persons have an issue with online learning in the sense that they might not get that interaction that they might need, or they may feel that they are going to do a lot of footwork, but the practicality of the degree might not be they might not anticipate it, seeing that it's online. But it is good to hear both of you say that you were able to have that practical element as well as the theoretical element as well, and able to hit the ground running and make the necessary changes within your career field from a UWA Global Campus degree. So can you speak more to that technical and online study aspect? How did you cope with it? How did both of you cope with it?
Well, I can say, well, at work, I usually use the computer all the time. So I usually walk with a computer to work every day. So for me, it was easy because I work in the customs and excise department, and our platform we use the Asticuda platform. So we have to be online 99% of the time, unless that you are dealing with passengers. So I have to use my computer. So doing things, many things on the computer was easy. So I finding information, going into my email, paying for UE online, all of those things, Zoom, the classroom sessions, everything was easy for me. I find that it was a no-brainer. And to me, I would tell anyone that UB Open Campus, from my expectations, I find earlier, I was like, online versus face to face. I had a little, I was a little apprehensive at first. And then I said, something, this thing is so easy. And I find that right now I'm actually doing another program online. Yes, I started last September, so I only have two more courses to finish. So, I can say that, it works for me and it's working for me. So,
I think the same. I come from a computer background, so online seemed to be to make sense. I know that it could be daunting for some persons from a technical perspective when you think about what you have to do in terms of uploading your assignments, having to download everything. And I know some persons are even challenged when it comes to be able to do online payments and that kind of thing. But I think the learning curve is not so bad that you can't overcome it. For me, it just made more sense. And the ability to plan your day out, you'll get home in the evening time. And you would kind of just send everything. So I get home, I settle myself in, and then I knuckle down to work. So you log in, you pull down what you have to do for the day, whether you have to join an online class or not, you join your classes. Um, and you always also keep your email close by, because it's really important that you check your messages regularly, check your emails, maybe once for the day, maybe coming to the end of the day, make sure you check your emails so if there's any notifications that you have that you would have, you're up to date with the information. And I think it's we're part of a digital age now anyway. You really have to be able to navigate the systems properly and understand and have that level of digital literacy. I think that's if you're not there at this stage, then you're gonna find yourself left behind in years to come. In years to come, it might be sound far away, but even now, with the advent of AI and all of that, it's really important that persons are able to use the system well. So for me, in terms of the technical ability, it was mostly there, but I would have even learned a few things in this online environment with regards to you looking at. I think we were using Blackboard at the time, using the Blackboard, using the live classroom at the time. Those were things that you just had to kind of get used to. And then after the first semester, getting to the second semester, you became so good at it that it was like second nature to you. So, you know, I don't know how I feel like I'll just end up being an advocate. You all can hire me, I'll just be spokesperson.
Oh, we can hire you definitely as a
I
sales
can be a
person.
spokesperson for Global Campus.
You want to assist with the marketing, but it's good. It is good that you are now an evangelizer, so to speak. No one has to force you to speak about your university. It just comes naturally. That will also speak to about the quality of the experience you had with us. So indeed, we're grateful for that. So tell us, did either of you partake or sign up for the payment plan to help finance your studies?
Well, for me, I did it, I think in my third year or my
Mhm.
fourth year. Yes, yeah, I did the payment plan because I paid for my first year, second year, third year. And
Mhm.
then the fourth year, I did the payment plan. It was easy. So anyone who is looking to go that route, and you had 4 months to pay, which you just break down
Yeah.
the total amount, so which make it easier for you to pay for your studies. But I had no problem in using it, and I would advise anyone to use it too if it is that you don't have the full amount for the whole semester.
Fortunately, and I know Trinidadians, we Trinidadians, we have gates, so it makes things a little bit easier.
Yeah.
But even if you have to pay 25% or to pay 50%, I did use the payment plan coming up to the end. And as Catherine said, it's really simple and it gives you that time to pay. So you really don't have to drive yourself crazy, or if you don't have all of it at once. That payment plan, I think, is really, really um, makes things more affordable for the students. So yeah, I did use it coming down to the end, and I'm agreeing it really does help you, especially if you find yourself in a bit of a bind.
It would definitely be good for students to keep abreast of what's going on and to seek out this information. Don't wait till it's too late within your studies to see any opportunities that can definitely help them. Catherine, you wanted to say something?
No, 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 no. I'm in
Oh, okay.
agreement with you. Yes,
Okay.
yes.
Okay. Um, is there any reason that you found out about the plan late, or you just decided to do it that way?
No, well, at the beginning I was thirsting of the my duration for the course. I
Mhm.
find that I guess I had the finances, so I did that. But then afterwards, when it is that, I will explore more, because usually you send an email pertaining to like funding and stuff like that, grants or whatever. And I just read through the information that was online, and I saw that, and I was there seeing, some Catherine, like looking to pay all this money one time. When it's easier, because if I'm a monthly worker, I can actually pay monthly. So that's why I was there saying that for me, it's in my fourth year. I said, well, something, instead of killing myself to just pay all this one time, I can do it that way, and it worked out for me.
A very convenient, you can
Yes, it
imagine,
is.
yes. So Kofi would have alluded to the fact that you were part of the games. Do you want to give us more insight into that extracurricular activity you were involved in?
Yeah. So I think it was 2019 actually. And as I was saying earlier on, my dad had just passed, but the UWI Games was coming up, and I was really interested in the football. So they were, and because it's global campus, it was a bit challenging for them to be able to recruit players at the time. So we all had to send a video in of us doing juggling with the ball and that kind of thing. So my dad had just passed, and I really wasn't too interested in doing it. And I remember um, Coach Watts sending me a message and saying, weren't you interested in playing with the team? And I said, yes. He said, well, send me the video. And I did reluctantly, actually. I did it, and I sent the video, and then I got a response. Well, okay, yeah, you're on the team. And I was like, wait, hold on. It's just that simple. And he was like, yes, you're on the team. And I had a few sessions with them here in Trinidad with the guys who were going across. And s- still not believing that it was actually happening. Then I got a call. I think it's Mr. Charlton Ali. He would have,
Yes, yes,
he would have communicated with me as well,
yes,
and they sent
Charlie. Mhm.
they sent across the information for the ticket and all of that. So I was like, okay, wait, so this is really happening. I applied for some time off on work. They thought I was not. They said, okay, wait, this doesn't make any sense. How are you going to Jamaica to play football? You're too old, that kind of thing. So um,
Ah,
ended up there,
Yeah.
played with the team, and the thing about it is, because we're coming from so many different places. I think it was like 10 or 11 different islands, persons meeting up for the first time for
mhm.
Wow.
athletics.
To be
And
on a team.
how was this team going to play together? I think we lost the first two games. Mona really put a beating on us, I think we probably lost that game 4-1. The second game we also lost. But the third game against St. Augustine, I don't know if it's Trinidadian and me, but I can speak for me, all right? I had a really good game. And the team drew the game 1-1. It was the first time I think that Open Campus had gotten a point in the football competition. So I think everybody was extremely happy. Um,
Yeah.
I have the pictures I kept the pictures from that. It was such a really, really nice experience. And the thing is to have all four campuses, St. Augustine, Mona, Cave Hill, in Mona at the same time with Global Campus and spending that time. I remember not wanting to stay. I can't remember the name of the dorms, the hall that I stayed at. But the thing for me is I was leaving home where I had, you have to go to the bathroom and everything, and I'm going on this campus and I'm having a bath in cold water and we're having, and I'm saying, why did I leave my house to come here? But then after the first week, it was such an enjoyable experience, meeting with all the guys, some of the younger persons. Um, you know, I really, really that I think for me that was one of the highlights of my time in Open Campus, and it made you realize that it's not you alone, it's all these different islands, all these different persons coming together. And when we meet up, even now, I still have friends from that team who I communicate with regularly, guys from Antigua, persons from Jamaica, St. Vincent, Barbados. We all still communicate quite often. And I think I forged some lifetime friendships in that period. I remember Mr. Charlton Ali. I remember Coach Watts. We still communicate. I still communicate with Coach Watts up to now. So, that was a really, really nice experience. A memory that I cherish. I will cherish for the rest of my life.
And that speaks to the Caribbean spirit that we have, no matter the country, we can still come together and make memories and move towards a goal. We have Mr. Calvin Moses. Calvin is also a Pelican and a Trini, and I think Calvin also participated in the games as well. He's cheering you on the
I saw
YouTube page. You're
Calvin,
saying?
Calvin messaged me yesterday. I passed in front of his house and he said I was passing by and I don't know how Calvin knew to look outside just at the point when I was driving by. And he called me and he said, I thought you said you was checking me when you're passing Sugar. So I was like, Calvin, I was intending to pass. So he just happened to see me at that point in time. So yes, Calvin was definitely there, and Calvin is one of those friendships that would have been forged there. And yeah,
He's
really, really good
definitely,
time.
yes, a very great person and a kind personality. So, Calvin, thank you so much for tuning in and cheering on our fellow graduates and Pelicans. So, Kofi, you would have told us that during the course of your study, your dad passed away, and we're sorry to hear about that. And I know that when we're studying, we still have our other life incidents that happen, our own life experiences. We still have to deal with our home life, our work life, any other extracurricular activities or organizations and groups that we are in. So how did both of you deal with that? How did you balance your studies, your work, any other extracurricular activities that you would have had during the course of your studies?
Well, for me, my major current extracurricular activity was my daughter.
Mm.
So I had to navigate around her because she had different things in the afternoon, dancing, this thing, whatever she had.
Yeah,
So
and that
for
is a
me, it's
challenge
like
factor for the parents.
yes, it was. That's why that I found that open campus worked for me because you know what? I know when I get home and I sort her out, if it is that I have to have a Zoom meeting or at 6 o'clock, I just make sure that I'm here, that we get home in time. Sometimes if I'm at work and I have something to complete, at least it is I could have used my computer during the day, my laptop during the day, and sit where I was and do finish off some of my assignments. So I managed my time wisely. I managed my time. I made sure that I got home at a certain time. I tried not to miss any of the sessions that were on because it was important to me. So I sacrificed time to make sure that I was here at home, meeting all my assignments, meeting all majority of my Zoom sessions, my group meetings, etc. So I think that you have to manage your time wisely. And I said, something. This 5 years, this is my time for studying, and the open campus give me the opportunity, because if it was up UE, Cave Hill, they have classes 2 to 3. Right, it's at 3 o'clock. I would have to go for my daughter. Then
Okay.
afterwards, 5 to 6. Right, is I would be jaunting, try to take her home or get her home, and then to go to Cave Hill. So I find that it worked for me in managing my time and I was focused. So I was focusing getting out in the 5 years that I had to. So it worked very well for me. I have no complaints at all.
That it was very convenient for you and you were able to, in a sense, build your life around studies or studies around your life, more so to speak.
Yes, yes, very much so.
Sophie, what about you?
Yeah, so for me, it was, well, in the beginning, it would have really been about managing the course load. I knew it was going to be just about 5 years. For me, it took a little bit longer because of things that would have happened in between. But it definitely, it was about managing your time, balancing that course load that you have, setting goals. I think for me, I set how many courses I would want to do, where I would want to be at the end of each year. So I would look at the courses, I would look at the program advising and see which courses I should do, which courses needed to be done before you could do something else. So I think that program advising was really a big part of it in knowing where to go and how to proceed. And I think even for me, there were 2 points really. It was one when my dad died, but the other point is at some point I got a little bit frustrated with work and I wasn't sure if I still wanted to do this. And I had persons reach out to me and say, you've gotten this far, it doesn't make sense that you're not complete. Make sure you do what you have to do to complete. And because of the time and because of how you could select your courses, that allowed me to kind of just take it one course at a time and get myself back on track where I needed to be in both instances. And before you knew it, I was finished. So it did take just over 6 years, but at the end of the day, I got it done, and I do owe a lot to the persons who I would have been around me. As I said, Ralmore is one of those friends who really helped me through when I was having some problems. And he's all the way, I think, in Grenada. So that's to tell you the strength of the friendships that you develop in this program. And he was one of the persons who he would call me and say, hey, you need to chin up and get it done because you're already in this space. So why waste all this time and that you put in and not complete? So I mean, that's what I'm saying. You might think it's online and it's not gonna work the same way. But when you get into those classes and you start interacting, you realize that the friendships and the relationships that you build online in those online spaces in that class, all of you working together and putting in the late nights and you having a late night meetings online and all of that, it really helps build you. And because you're able to kind of do things in your own time as well, so you can set aside time to do certain things because it's not as rigid as a classroom or a class environment where I have to get there for 3, you get there for 4 in the afternoon. It helps you. It helps you. So I'm saying it.
And and
Go ahead.
and Kofi, and I was just saying, and don't forget the 11:55 deadline. 11:55 p.m. deadline.
11:55.
That
Yeah,
you had to upload. You
you
know what I
had to
mean? But I just say you had good groups. You had good groups and good people. In your classes that you say you're emailing or you're WhatsApping and saying, what, an hour to go or whatever. How far are you? You know what I mean?
Your
So it
motivation.
worked.
Yes,
Yes,
definitely.
yes,
You knew exactly who works, how different people work. So once you get into a group, by the time you get into your fourth year, you know exactly how
yeah,
everybody works.
yeah,
So you know who are the
yeah,
ones who are the procrastinators. You know who are the ones who
yeah.
get going first. You know who should lead the group. And there was sometimes when you get
Correct.
into a group and you look at the person, you say, okay, I'm taking leadership of this group because
Yes.
I know what's going on here. So it does help you, and it puts you in that space to be able to read people and read the room and understand certain environments. And for things like these, it prepares you for a conversation that we're having with you right now. Because Catherine and we're very comfortable in this space because we were always in this space.
Yeah. That
Yeah,
is great.
very much
It's
so.
not just a theoretical education, but real life skills, right?
Yes.
Like changing
Absolutely.
learning. Yes.
Yeah, indeed.
So, in terms of our virtual graduation, tell us how it was for you.
I didn't go virtual. I went CAFO.
Ooh, tell us about that
So,
experience.
yes. Well, well, with graduation, I guess they sent you a letter. You had the choice of doing virtual or on campus. So I opted for CAFO, and I was there saying, well, I guess the anticipation of knowing that you're going to be graduating with UV Cable. I was there saying it was interesting. It was a terrible day because the rain fell that
Mm-hmm.
morning. So the morning, those that graduate in the morning, it was weather, weather, water, whatever. But in the afternoon, I guess probably because of say it was wet and stuff like that. But I found that it was not boring. I thought it was going to be long and boring. And I guess in the line, you meet people, meet so much people there that it was like, okay, no, I know this person, but because it was open campus, at least it is, only in the booklet that you knew that it was from open campus. But when they called my name, it was just, being a graduate, so no one know that it was from the open
Yeah.
campus. So it was wonderful. It was.
I did it online. To be honest with you, I think I joined just as my name was about to be called, so it's not it's not I
Wow.
can't yes,
Just in time.
just in time, so I was able to see. I said that's my picture going there, and that was really it. So but I did was able to see the persons who were in class with me say, hey, congratulations, Kofi, and they would have known what you would have gone through over the period to graduate. So I can't talk about the experience too much other than seeing my name going across and saying, okay, I'm just in
Yeah.
time. But I did actually want to do it in person. It's just that time didn't permit, and there was some other things happening at the time. So I didn't attend the graduation live, and then I would have seen as I said, join the online leads as well. So that's one
That is,
experience I didn't get to have.
well, that is something we want our UWA Global Campus students to know, that they do have the option when they want to graduate. They can do so with a landed campus, or they can do it virtually with the UWA Global Campus. So you do have to have those options, like either Catherine or Kofi, depending on how you wish to graduate or to experience your graduation. So we want to remind those who are watching, who are considering applying, who have already applied and are getting ready for September, or those who have already started their journey maybe a year in and are looking to continue on. For the ones specifically who are going to apply to begin in September, you have until tomorrow to do so. That is for the undergraduate programs or your bachelor's programs, which is what both Catherine and Kofi would have done, their undergraduate. So the deadline is tomorrow, and you can access the portal by logging on to global.uwe.edu/apply. That is global.uwe.edu/apply. And remember, tomorrow is the deadline. So you have a matter of hours to capitalize on this opportunity to begin in September. So tell us, what have both of you been doing since you graduated? You don't have to study anymore, or at least not that in depth. You can do some of the fun stuff, listen to your soca music more. What other fun, loving, relaxing things? I would imagine that Catherine is now spending more time with her daughter. What other things are both of you
Well,
up to?
not really, Sharice. Remember
What?
last September, I actually started a diploma online, open campus
Mhm.
in public sector
So
ad
you're
because I
still in the
wanted to go
books,
back.
yes.
Yes, I want to do that course about 2 years ago. It was never offered, and they sent it out to me, and they said, you know, something, which is good because since that I have done the my graduated, I have been oh gosh, I'm looking for the word. I have been exempted from a couple of courses, so which means that I didn't have to do the full year and a half. So I'll be finishing. This will be my last semester. So basically, I think I got 5 courses off the 10 courses. So it wasn't that bad. So it's good. It's good to know that, you know what, when you do something at Open Campus, and if you want to apply to do something else, that you will have exemptions. So at least I didn't have to do all 10 courses. Yeah.
It's great. That's amazing. What about you, Kofi?
Yes.
So coming to the end of 2022, I welcomed my daughter into the world. So she has been,
Congratulations.
yes. So I know Samaya is she probably looking online right now. I haven't got home yet.
Sumaya.
So look, daddy. So but actually, so and beyond that, I moved on to a postgraduate certificate in curriculum leadership at UWI St. Augustine. That was just, I think that's
Very
part of the
good.
micro credential program. So I did that. I also signed up as well for a master's TVET, but I haven't started that. And actually, just recently, I've been looking at Open Campus again because I was looking at a postgraduate diploma in instructional design. So that kind of has me thinking. And you are just talking about the deadline. So I kind of watching the deadline, Kataya, and saying, maybe I should apply for this by
Well,
tomorrow.
Kofi, you're doing that with postgraduate. The postgraduate deadline. Wait.
You
So this
see,
is
so
only for the bachelor. So you'll now have to wait until the January application period opens up. So
so
that's
that,
something you can consider for January.
yeah, so that's even better for me. I think probably everybody at home is breathing a sigh of relief and saying, "Oh gosh, I'm not going to do it again."
You can enjoy your Christmas period.
Yes.
But that is so good that you both are keeping on that studying path, getting everything out the way so that when you are finished, you probably will be indeed finished. So we're very proud of you in that aspect and do encourage you to continue to push on. So what does the future hold for both of you?
Well, for Catherine, uh, I think that somewhere in the future, I'm going to be doing some type of studying. If it's pertaining to my job, I'm going to be back in some type of classroom, whether it be physical or online. But I can tell you that the opportunity of going to the open campus, it have tremendously helped in terms of my job because here it is that when I sent my certificate to my bosses, I got promoted. So in doing that, it really,
Awesome.
it's
Yeah.
good for upward mobility. So I know that somewhere in the future, I would continue to do some type form of courses or whatever. But I can say that the Global Campus was a fantastic opportunity for me, and anyone that who is thinking about it, go ahead, go ahead.
For me, it is so since completing even during the program, I would have been promoted. I've been promoted at least twice, I think. Um, with through the
Wow,
program,
congrats.
and I continue to push myself. I continue to want to do additional programs because I think the barrier in education makes you into a lifelong learner. So you constantly want to improve yourself, you constantly want to keep learning, and you also want to improve persons around you, and you want them to also see the need to improve and see the need to increase their qualification and increase their knowledge. So for me, it's to continue the work. I am in education as it is, and I continue to apply the learnings that I would have gotten through the BEd and looking at it. I'm looking at the PhD cut. I am not sure. Maybe at some stage,
Yeah.
I may want to. But outside of that, it is really to just continue learning, continue improving, and see how far you can go. Because having a daughter now, it kind of says to me, I want to kind of set that kind of example for her. And so I probably won't stop. I'm no Shanice, I'm sorry. I probably won't stop. I, I'll keep going. So
Well, we're looking forward to seeing you in January. That is okay.
I think you just may see me in January. It's
That,
quite likely that you will.
yes, that is awesome. I'm so proud. I can't stop smiling. I'm so proud of both of you. And I
Thank
know
you.
that during your studies, there would have been family members, co-workers, friends who would have supported you. And just give them a brief shout out.
For
Catherine, you
me,
going
I
first?
want to thank. Yes, I'm going first. For me, I want to thank. Well, we know my daughter. My daughter. I was just saying she's only 10. So it's like mommy. Sometimes instead of helping her with her homework, I would tell her what she have to wait or whatever. So I have to shout out Miss Caitlin. I was there saying to my friend James that who have been with me from the moment that I signed up to do the bachelor's. Some of my workmates that what said, Catherine, you're doing open campus. It was like, why open campus? Why not KFL? And when they realized that what it was, I think that during the COVID period when we had to be online and doing things online, they was there saying, something, Catherine,
You got the
you know what?
aha. Hmm.
Ha, I
Yeah.
think open campus can work for me. So I shall hope my work friends, but to Caitlin and James, you know, they were there for me, my cheerleaders. So thanks. Thanks to them.
For me, it is my family, my mom. She always said I'm gonna make her proud. So I know that I've been doing that. Shanice my partner, has always been supportive. My dad, when he was around, he would always say, go after it. Don't worry, I have everything covered for you. My aunt in Barbados, Catherine. So I have my auntie June living in
Yes.
Barbados.
The roots.
uh,
Hey,
yeah, so
hey, hey.
they've always supported me and really said, encouraged me to continue to grow. In terms of UAE, as I said, Ralmo, Ken, Katrina, they were some of the persons who I would have been working with over the years, and they were really, really, really supportive. And I'm extremely appreciative to that team who really helped me to push through. And even at work, as much as I would give trouble from every now and then, as I said, with my advocacy, I know my boss at the time, Raphael, he really supported me as well. So it's I'm just truly appreciative of being able to come through this experience with all the support of everyone around to get me to where I am now. So happy.
Yes.
Me as well. Me as well.
That is so good to hear. And we have 9 more minutes. But before we begin to wrap up, I want both of you to think back, think of where you are now, and think of the future. And what advice would you have for a prospective student, someone who may be watching online, who would view the video on our social media platforms a bit later, or anyone who is hearing your voice at the moment? What advice would you give to them as they look to start this journey in tech?
I would say to anyone that who is considering using going through UB or Global Campus, I would say to them that it would be a long journey. 30 courses, yes, it is. It's long, but something. I think that the process is a good one in that you meet fellow classmates just like you in the same predicament, meaning working, children, many things happening, but at least you can say, what, you can set the time, when what is going to happen, the days are is happening. You can see all your work online. You know where to go. You don't have to go and get any books. You don't have to be in traffic. There's no jaunting or whatever. And I was there saying, when you meet a lot of people, Caribbean people that will be willing to help, because you meet people in groups and you say, what, you couldn't get this done or what done, and age is not a factor, because I'm 49 years old, going to be 50. So age is not a factor. I guess even if money wise, at least there's a payment plan. So you can use the payment plan, but it is a wonderful opportunity to use UE Global Campus.
Yeah, I would say the same. It's about starting. You need to start. You need to make up your mind and get going. If this is what you want, then stop procrastinating, go sign up and start the program. And once you get going, course by course, take it one course at a time, and then you'll be able to manage your workload. You'll know, okay, I can do two, and then you eventually realize you can do three, and then you can get to the crazy stage and start doing four. But
Yes.
it's really about just starting. You need to put your foot down, put your head down, and say, okay, this is what I want, this is what I'm going to do, and head in that direction. It doesn't make sense that you're talking about doing something and you're not putting any action into doing it. And Global Campus gives you that ability to study at your own pace and to be able to have everything at your fingertips. You have nothing to worry about. Like Catherine said, it's all available to you right there. You can set your schedules, you can put your life around that those dates that you have for your assignments, around those dates that you have for your exams and all of that. So you really have no excuse now. It's all available to you, and it could be done. And Catherine and I are both living examples that you can be in a job, have your responsibilities, but at the end of it, you may think 5 years is a long time. It really isn't. It really, really is not a long
Absolutely.
time.
Yes.
Yeah.
So get it done. Stop procrastinating. Global Campus is going to help you to get it done as well. And you have some excellent tutors, excellent lecturers. And because it's online, the response is a lot faster than if you have to do it in person. You'd be so surprised. So
That's true. That's very true.
yeah, so I'm saying to anyone who's giving consideration to Global Campus, it's really, really a good idea. It's the best decision you might make. For me, it has been the best decision I have ever made, was actually coming to Global Campus. So, and trust me, checked my LinkedIn, you'll see it's the best decision I ever made.
That is so great to hear. And as you said, start. The journey of 1,000 miles begin with a single step, right? And as
That's
you
true.
also said, time is going to pass regardless, so you might as well use it to your advantage. 5 years studying and 5 years not studying is still 5 years. So at the end of that 5 years, have something tangible that you can use to improve yourself, your future, your community. And you who are listening have that opportunity right now. Tomorrow is the deadline if you want to apply for your undergraduate program beginning in September. So that's tomorrow, Wednesday, July 31st, 2024. You can log on to our website at global.ue.edu/apply. That is global.ue.edu/apply. One more day remaining to have that opportunity to start in September. We want to thank you for joining us today, those who are listening, who are in our audience online, and for making this program a success. Special thanks to our panelists, Catherine Jordan from Barbados and Kofi Tony from Trinidad and Tobago. On behalf of all of us here at the UWI Global Campus, we want to wish you every success in your future endeavors, your family, your continued studies, your careers, and just continue to build up yourself and wave that pelican flag high, which both of you are already doing. We also want to special thanks to Patrick Johnson and Marcia Reed, who are handling all the technical matters, as well as your questions and queries in the background. And just to let you know, this is our last show in this current series, and we hope to start back again later in the year. So thanks to everyone who watched, thanks to everyone who are on the panel over the course of the last few months, and just have a great evening. Until next time, I am Cherise Glasgow. Bye.
Bye.
Bye, everyone.
Bye. Bye.